Have you ever wondered who will truly be there for you when you need them most? After 60, the harsh reality is that family, the very people you think will always support you, might not be as reliable as you hope. What if I told you there are 6 essential pillars that provide more security, stability, and peace of mind than even your closest relatives? These aren't just recommendations. They're lifelines that could save you from abandonment, vulnerability, and dependence when you need support the most. Let me tell you about Sylvia, a 67-year-old retired teacher from Ohio. She always believed her 3 adult children would be her support system in her later years. She'd spent decades raising them, putting their needs before her own, and making countless sacrifices for their happiness. But when Sylvia needed help after her hip surgery, reality hit hard. Her daughter was overwhelmed with her own children, her oldest son lived across the country, and her youngest was struggling financially himself. The phone calls became less frequent, the visits shorter, and the help she desperately needed never materialized. Sylvia felt abandoned, vulnerable, and scared, until she discovered these 6 pillars that transformed her life and gave her more independence and security than she ever thought possible. Now let's discover the 6 pillars that can provide you with more reliable support than family ever could. These aren't just suggestions, they're essential foundations that could mean the difference between dependence and freedom in your golden years. Pillar 1. Financial independence. The most reliable support you'll ever have isn't a person. It's your financial independence. When you control your own financial destiny, you'll never have to depend on busy children or reluctant relatives to meet your basic needs. Have you ever stopped to think how quickly your relationship with family can deteriorate when money enters the equation? Financial planners who specialize in retirement consistently report that seniors with financial stability experience 63% less stress and anxiety than those dependent on family members. Dr. Elaine Benson, a geriatric financial specialist at Northwestern University, explains, "Financial dependency in later years creates dangerous power imbalances in family relationships. When seniors control their own finances, they maintain dignity, autonomy, and familial harmony that money problems often destroy." Take Anthony, a 72-year-old retired postal worker from Florida. After his wife passed away, he relied heavily on his son for financial assistance. Every month became a humiliating experience as he had to ask for help with basic expenses. The relationship grew tense, with subtle resentment building on both sides. But everything changed when Anthony's neighbor showed him how to create passive income through a small rental property. Within a year, Anthony had steady monthly income, an emergency fund, and something even more valuable: his dignity and relationship with his son back. Here's what you need to do immediately. First, create an emergency fund covering at least 6 months of expenses. This is your first line of defense against financial catastrophe. Second, identify potential sources of passive income beyond Social Security. Even small dividend investments or part-time consulting can provide crucial financial cushioning. Third, eliminate high-interest debt aggressively. Every dollar of interest paid is stealing from your independence. Don't wait until crisis strikes to build your financial foundation. Make an appointment with a financial advisor specializing in seniors this week. Many offer free initial consultations. Can you really afford to leave your security in someone else's hands, even if they're family? Pillar 2. Physical health and self-care. Did you know that your body can be your strongest ally or your biggest obstacle after 60? The second pillar that's more reliable than family is your physical health. Have you noticed how quickly family members become overwhelmed when health issues arise, or how quickly their patience wears thin when care becomes demanding? Geriatric specialists at the Mayo Clinic confirm that physically active seniors require 78% less assistance from family members than sedentary ones. Dr. Samuel Richardson, Director of Geriatric Medicine at Johns Hopkins, states, "The single strongest predictor of independence after 70 isn't wealth or family support, it's physical function. Seniors who maintain strength, balance, and cardiovascular health often require minimal assistance, even when faced with other age-related challenges." Consider Diane, a 74-year-old widow from Oregon. After her husband died, her children immediately suggested she move to assisted living, assuming she couldn't manage alone. Instead of accepting their plan, Diane began a simple daily wellness routine, walking 20 minutes each morning, doing basic strength exercises, and improving her nutrition. 6 months later, her blood pressure normalized, her balance improved dramatically, and she could easily handle household tasks that once seemed impossible. Her children were shocked at her transformation, and the conversations about assisted living stopped completely. "They no longer look at me with worry or pity," Diane shared. "They see me as capable and strong again." Here's what you must do starting tomorrow. Begin with just 10 minutes of walking daily. Research shows even this minimal amount reduces disability risk by up to 40%. Add simple strength exercises using household items as weights. Maintaining muscle mass is critical after 60. Prioritize protein at every meal. Your body needs more, not less, as you age to prevent muscle loss. Schedule a complete physical examination this month and be assertive about preventative care. Don't wait until you're struggling before taking action. Your body is the vehicle that carries you through life. Are you willing to let it break down because maintenance seems inconvenient? Pillar 3. Social network beyond family. The third pillar, more reliable than family, might surprise you. It's the social connections you build outside your bloodline. Have you noticed how family members often take your time for granted, cancelling plans last minute or assuming you'll always be available when it's convenient for them? Research from Harvard's study of adult development, which has tracked people for over 80 years, shows that seniors with diverse social connections live longer and report higher satisfaction than those who rely solely on family. Dr. Josephine Rivera, social gerontologist at Columbia University, explains, "Family relationships are often complicated by past dynamics, expectations, and obligations. Non-family friendships, in contrast, tend to be chosen relationships based on mutual interests and genuine enjoyment of each other's company, making them uniquely valuable support systems." Let me tell you about Bradley, a 69-year-old retired accountant who moved across the country to be closer to his daughter and grandchildren. For the first few months, he saw them regularly, but gradually their busy lives left little room for him. Bradley found himself increasingly isolated, sitting alone in an apartment in an unfamiliar city. Everything changed when he reluctantly attended a community center chess club. Within months, Bradley had a vibrant social circle, people who checked on him when he missed a meeting, who invited him to dinners, who became the reliable social support his busy family couldn't consistently provide. Here's what you need to do today. Identify one social activity you enjoy and commit to attending regularly. Consistency is key to forming meaningful connections. Consider volunteer opportunities that match your skills. Helping others creates instant, purposeful connections. Join age-diverse groups to expand your perspective and support network beyond your generation. Don't wait for invitations. Initiate gatherings, even small ones like coffee dates or walks. Your future happiness may depend more on the friend you haven't met yet than the family you've known forever. Are you willing to stay isolated simply because reaching out feels uncomfortable at first? Pillar 4. Purpose and continued growth. What happens when your family no longer needs you the way they once did? When the roles that defined you, parent, provider, caregiver, are no longer your primary identity. The fourth pillar, stronger than family ties, is having purpose and continued growth in your life. Studies from the Journal of Happiness Studies show that seniors with a strong sense of purpose experience 44% less cognitive decline and remain independent significantly longer than those without clear purpose. Dr. Nathan Campbell, neuropsychologist specializing in aging, states, "A meaningful purpose creates neurological resilience." When seniors actively pursue goals and continue learning, their brains physically resist deterioration, creating cognitive reserves that protect function even when other health challenges arise. Consider Elizabeth, a 65-year-old former executive who felt increasingly invisible after retirement. Her children were busy with their own careers. Her grandchildren were growing more independent, and she found herself wondering why she even mattered anymore. Depression crept in until Elizabeth discovered an adult literacy program needing volunteers. She began tutoring adults learning to read, drawing on skills from her career in communications. Within months, Elizabeth had a renewed sense of purpose that no family relationship could provide. "I went from feeling forgotten to feeling essential again," she shared. "This work gives me something my family can't. The feeling that I'm still growing and contributing in meaningful ways." Here's what you must do this week. Identify skills from your career or life experience that could help others. Your knowledge is valuable even if you've never considered it that way. Explore educational opportunities. Many universities offer free or discounted courses for seniors. Create a bucket list with learning goals, not just travel or leisure activities. Start a project that will take months to complete. The anticipation of progress is a powerful motivator. Don't wait for purpose to find you or for family to validate your worth. Your brain and spirit need continued growth as much as your body needs exercise. What skill have you always wanted to develop but put aside for family obligations? Now is the time to pursue it. Pillar 5. Adaptability and resilience. The fifth pillar that outlasts even family ties is your ability to adapt and bounce back when life changes. Have you noticed how some seniors thrive despite major setbacks while others never recover from similar challenges? The difference isn't family support, it's personal resilience. Psychologists specializing in aging report that adaptable seniors are 67% more likely to maintain independence when faced with major life changes, regardless of family involvement. Dr. Victoria Lawrence, pioneer in geriatric resilience research at Stanford, explains, "Family support, while valuable, is external and therefore inherently unreliable. Internal resilience, the ability to adapt to change, recover from setbacks, and find new paths forward, is something you carry with you always, making it a far more dependable resource in later years." Take James, a 78-year-old retired engineer who lost his wife of 52 years to cancer. His children, concerned about his living alone, immediately pressured him to move to assisted living or into one of their homes. Instead of yielding, James joined a grief support group, learned basic cooking skills, reorganized his home for easier maintenance, and even mastered rideshare apps to maintain mobility after he stopped driving at night. His resilience enabled him to adapt to widowhood while maintaining his independence. "My children meant well," James reflected, "but they wanted solutions that worked for their peace of mind, not necessarily for my fulfillment. Learning to adapt rather than retreat was the key to my happiness." Here's what you need to do immediately. Practice intentional adaptation by changing small routines regularly. Take different routes to familiar places, try new foods, or rearrange your living space. When facing challenges, focus on what you can control rather than what you can't. Develop a resilience mantra to use during difficult moments, a short phrase that reminds you of your inner strength. Build your adaptation muscles with regular technological learning. Digital skills are essential for independence in today's world. Don't wait for a crisis to build these critical skills. Your ability to adapt may be the difference between thriving and merely surviving the inevitable changes ahead. Are you strengthening your resilience today, or hoping family will somehow shield you from needing it? Pillar 6. Home environment and community. The sixth pillar of support, more reliable than family, is one you might be standing in right now. Your home environment and the community around you can either facilitate independence or accelerate dependence as you age. Have you considered how your living situation might be silently undermining your autonomy? Urban planning specialists and gerontologists confirm that seniors who live in supportive communities with accessible homes maintain independence 3 to 5 years longer than those in isolated or inadequate environments. Dr. Timothy Rodriguez, environmental gerontologist at MIT's Age Lab, states, "The built environment is a stronger predictor of senior independence than family proximity. A thoughtfully designed home in a walkable community with resources can compensate for minimal family support, while even extensive family assistance cannot fully overcome an isolating or hazardous living environment." Consider Patricia, a 71-year-old retired nurse whose children live thousands of miles away. Rather than moving closer to them, she strategically redesigned her ranch-style home with accessibility features and chose a neighborhood with walkable access to essentials. She joined her community association and developed relationships with neighbors of various ages. When Patricia fell and needed temporary assistance, it wasn't distant family who helped. It was her next-door neighbor who noticed her newspapers piling up, the community meal train that provided food, and the accessible design of her home that enabled her quick recovery. "My children wanted me to move near them," Patricia explained, "but I realized I needed daily support systems, not occasional family visits." Here's what you must do now. Evaluate your home honestly for future accessibility. Could you live on one level if needed? Are bathrooms safely accessible? Install grab bars and improved lighting immediately. They benefit everyone, not just those with limitations. Research your community's walkability score and proximity to essentials. Transportation options become increasingly important with age. Build relationships with neighbors of all ages. Intergenerational connections provide diverse types of support. Don't wait for a crisis to consider your environmental needs. The home that served you well at 50 may become an obstacle to independence at 80. Are you living in a place that supports your future, or one that will eventually force dependence on unreliable family assistance? These 6 pillars, financial independence, physical health, social networks beyond family, purpose and growth, adaptability and supportive environments, create a foundation stronger than family ties alone ever could. When built intentionally, they provide security, fulfillment and independence that doesn't depend on anyone else's availability or willingness to help. Remember Sylvia from the beginning of our story. By strengthening each of these pillars, she transformed from feeling abandoned to feeling empowered. Her financial planning gave her options her children couldn't provide. Her health routine reduced her need for physical assistance. Her community connections provided daily support her distant family couldn't offer. Her volunteer work gave her purpose beyond family roles. Her adaptability skills helped her navigate challenges independently, and her thoughtfully modified home supported her autonomy when family couldn't be there. The greatest gift you can give yourself isn't hoping family will be there when needed. It's building a life where you can thrive regardless of their availability. Start strengthening these 6 pillars today. Because independence doesn't happen by accident. It's built through intentional, consistent action before you need it. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button right now and let me know which pillar you'll focus on strengthening first by commenting below. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more content that helps you build a stronger, more independent life after 60. Share this with someone you care about who might be over-relying on family support. It could be the wake-up call that transforms their future.